When it comes to white Australia's relationship with Indigenous Australia, at some point it needs to become like how the Maori get on with white New Zealanders. Like where there is absolute respect and you both understand that you're both a part of the same story at this point. Everyone who was born as an Aboriginal person in Australia now has been here as long as I have. It's both our country, and let's find a way to honour Indigenous history and white Australian history.
If I'm the Indigenous person, hearing that would be like, so you're just coming into my house and you're saying it's yours now, but you want us to work together? Not many people would take that deal. You only have to take that deal because you're forced to take that deal, right? If the Indigenous or other people like Native Indigenous of America, or maybe black people within African nations who've had their countries taken, or even Middle Eastern nations, if they all of a sudden were to get immense amount of military power, would they still make that deal? So in a sense, that deal's only made under duress, really. Yeah, we're getting along because it's the right thing to do in this circumstance scenario. But if we get that military power or that advancement, which the policies and the oppression and all those things keep us from having it, so we don't get to the number one spot. Let's be honest, it's not about always working hard, it's about what's around you as well. Then that deal won't be made. It's a deal under duress. I do like it that they're looking at it and trying to fix something. That is a first step. Well done. I don't know too much about the New Zealand culture, but I think he's meant to say Māori, not Maori. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he said, just like the relationship between New Zealand whites and he said Maori, and I think he's meant to say Māori. When I was there, that's the first thing I learned. It's not Maori, it's Māori. So he's not even saying the name correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's a different energy between the white people who live there and the Māoris who live there, or the native people. Let's say that before I get in trouble. The native people. There's more of a understanding that we can work together. It probably has to do with how the country was overthrown and taken versus the treaties that New Zealand had signed back in the day. It's like if your people are bred out, taken to the degree of the Aboriginals versus, even though bad stuff did happen to the Māori people and the Indigenous people of New Zealand back in that time, in comparison, I feel like it's going to be hard to be like, all right, hey, let's have that high level of respect, because if you're breeding out my people and you're actually trying to make my race extinct, what do I look like just trying to be your friend now?